Make interpreting work? Make interpreting work? What does that mean when it's at home? I'm Jonathan Downey, this is Inside Interpreting, and in this video I will be answering that precise question. In the last video we talked about how a common model of interpreting is a conduit model where the interpreter is just there to say what the person said. We've already shown how linguistically this is dubious, and we suggested that the work of Philip Angermeyer, and I could have quoted many others, shows that when interpreters attempt this, things tend to go badly wrong, or at least wrong. And so researchers such as Robin Dean, Graham Turner, Jemina Napier, Cecilia Vanshu, Cynthia Roy, Ian Mason have started suggesting that interpreting is not about being a conduit, but about working with the audience and the speakers so that it works. Well, I say they've started saying that, they've really been saying it since at least the mid-1990s. But what does it mean? Well, let's tell you a story from my own experience. I was interpreting at a business negotiation somewhere in Scotland. And you had the British company who were trying to sell lots of products, and the French company who wanted to buy lots of products, and they had what's called a sales qualification meeting, which means the French buyer came across to check that the products that the British company were selling were as good as they'd said in their brochures. Basically, they had to tick a lot of boxes to prove that they were doing certain things right and not doing certain things wrong. And that was the meeting. Well, the first day of the meeting was fine. It was a standard factory tour, standard chit-chat, the background of the company and so on. A few basic questions, and we were completely fine that the British company did not have any slaves and things like that. On the second day, things became a little bit heated. The French buyer was getting rather annoyed that he seemed not to be able to get a straight answer to what he thought was a basic question. The British company were getting annoyed that they seemed to be being asked the same question over and over and over and over again, and the French person just seemed to be being awkward. What was going on here? So they all left the negotiating room, left their papers in, and started walking around the corridor. They were prodding charts on the wall and talking about stuff, and suddenly it was as if a light bulb appeared above my head. They were both talking about quality, or qualité in French, but they were describing it in completely different ways. So I made a big decision. I said, excuse me, the interpreter believes there's been a misunderstanding. May I explain? I said that in English and French, and both sides went, yeah, okay. So I explained that I believe that they were both discussing quality, but they were doing it from different sides. You see, the French buyer is interested in quality in terms of the number of pieces that you produce that are perfect, that have no defects. And the British company are used to speaking about quality in terms of the percentage of parts that have defects. Thank you very much. I went back to just interpreting and let the clients take it from there. But by the end of my sentence, suddenly there were big smiles on everyone's faces. The British technical director said, "Oh, is that what he wants? Come here, I'll go get them for him." We went back to the negotiating room, a laptop was opened, some figures pulled up on the screen, and he said, "Is that what you want?" And the French buyer said, "Oui." And from then on, the meeting went perfectly, and a large pre-sale contract was signed off. That wasn't conduit model interpreting, that was an appreciation that interpreting was there to achieve a purpose. Interpreting is always there to achieve a purpose, whether it's to chat someone up, to get the right medicine, to get to have a just court case, to have a successful meeting. There's always a purpose behind interpreting, and the triadic model of interpreting reminds us that and says, well, if that's why the interpreter's there, that's what we should be looking at doing. Robin Dean describes it as interpreting should be there to fulfill the purpose of the event. And that, of course, is why accuracy matters, because if Hans Vermeer reminds us in translation that if a translation isn't accurate, the client cannot achieve the purpose that they had for it because they'll get sued, or the contract won't work, or the information will be inaccurate. That's why accuracy matters, and that's how we should measure accuracy, because interpreting is there for a purpose. So if interpreting is there for a purpose, the point of interpreting is to help people achieve that purpose together. That's the basic level of interpreting. I'm Jonathan Downey, and this is Inside Interpreting.